In Texas, some doctors don't want to treat it. We're talking about Lyme disease, and caught in the middle are some patients who are desperate for a cure. CBS 11 investigator Jack Fink has been looking into it. So Jack, why is this so controversial?
Well, Karen, part of the problem with Lyme disease is it can be difficult to diagnose. I spoke with a mother of 3 who believes she's had it for years, and just when she found a treatment that works, the state began investigating her doctor.
We'll go first and then you go.
Carrie Reed of Richland Hills loves playing with her 3 young daughters. But she remembers how difficult it was some days just to take care of them.
I was feeling severely fatigued. It was hard to just get through the day.
She was sick off and on for years and didn't know what was wrong with her. This February, an urgent care doctor said something that finally made sense to her.
I think you could have Lyme disease.
Lyme disease is a bacterial infection people get after being bitten by deer ticks. A bullseye lesion on the skin is a common symptom. 30,000 people nationwide get the disease each year. But in Texas, that number is far lower, only about 100. And for Reed, this was the second time she was diagnosed with the disease.
I was bitten right at around 16 up in New Jersey.
She believes when she got Lyme disease as a teenager, she was never fully cured.
This is a very clever organism.
Dr. Ron Wilson of Denton prescribed an aggressive treatment of antibiotics for Reed.
This is where my pickling was.
Reed says she had an IV infusion of antibiotics.
Antibiotic right here.
Every 12 hours, 4 days a week, for 8 weeks.
Goes into the vein over your heart. Put it in the tubing and put it in.
That treatment helped land Carrie Reed in the middle of a controversy that's dividing the medical community.
A simple antibiotic for a short period of time may get rid of the symptoms, overt symptoms, for a while, but they come back.
There is no reasonable evidence to support the fact that there is such thing as a chronic Lyme disease.
Dr. Michael Norgard chairs the microbiology department at UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas. He specializes in Lyme disease. Dr. Norgard and other infectious disease doctors nationwide are convinced Lyme disease should be treated with short-term antibiotics. They worry extended use of these drugs could actually ruin a patient's health.
They're subjecting their patients, to false hopes. They're not really getting to the real etiology of the underlying illness.
Whether it's controversial or not is not my problem. My problem is taking care of people.
Dr. Wilson changed his OBGYN practice so he could also treat patients with Lyme disease. Carrie Reed credits Dr. Wilson for her recovery.
For the first time in about 10 years, I can actually get through the day and feel pretty good.
But now she's forced to find a new doctor. The Texas Medical Board received a complaint about Dr. Wilson and investigated his treatment of Lyme disease. The board disciplined Dr. Wilson for failing to use the generally accepted standard of care based on guidelines from the Infectious Diseases Society of America.
Well, I feel discounted and I feel singled out.
Under a deal with the medical board, Dr. Wilson must take ethics courses for prescribing a vitamin supplement he was profiting from. And he has to completely change the way he treats Lyme disease patients.
I've been forced into a situation that makes it very difficult to do what I love and do what I want to do and to help people.
It's very frustrating. I'm very angry. If they would just let these Lyme doctors do their job and what they're good at, you know, and let us get our lives back.
Dr. Wilson says he believes the state standard for treating Lyme disease is almost the same as not treating it at all. So he says he will stop seeing these patients altogether. He wants a new state law to allow doctors to use more aggressive treatments. And now the state legislature is studying the issue. A committee is expected to release its findings this fall. Karen?
All right, Jack. Thank you for that report. Okay, let's go to Larry Maurer.